What's up, everybody? It's your host, Chelsea Texera, here on Up to Date Podcast. Have you ever had a gut feeling? Well, one thing I have to tell you is that gut feelings are guardian angels, and today we have an absolute angel on the show. It's Caitlin Rice, and we just want to let you know that you can go from toxicity to simplicity in your relationships. So please tune in, like, subscribe, and share, and once again, stay tuned to stay up to date. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Up to Date. I'm your host, Chelsea Texera, and today we have Caitlin Rice on the show. She is a fitness model and entrepreneur. Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, I'm so stoked to have you on. Woo!
These are delicious, by the way.
Thank you, my love.
Yeah.
This is inspired by you. We're going to wait till the end to tell you what we're sipping on today.
Ooh.
But just know that it is summery, fresh, and delicious.
It is great for a Monday.
Sure is. So, Caitlin, you are such a badass. You are an influencer. You have an amazing following and an amazing booty class that I personally take. So
it's a good one.
Yeah. So how Caitlin and I met is actually two of my good friends, but one of my best friends. She started taking Caitlin's booty boot camp class, and I was seeing these videos every week. I was like, oh my God, like, I could get into that.
It's intense.
Especially in quarantine, it's been like, my gym opened for a hot second and I was stoked on it. But then as soon as it closed, I'm like, okay, I need a little something to boost this up. We really did. So Caitlin is that for so many young women here in San Diego, and such an inspiration. She is so beautiful inside and out, and also a badass. If you come late to her class, you better bet your ass
You're doing burpees.
You're doing some burpees, boo. So, which never hurt anybody. But so be on time and make sure you are ready to work.
Yes.
So this class is amazing. It honestly, as soon as I took it, I was going to do a drop-in, and I was like, no, I am committing to this because first of all, look at her. We have her Instagram linked, and once you see her, you're going to be like, damn, I need a little bit of whatever is going on with that. So Caitlin, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background, where you came from? I know you've lived in San Diego for 3 years, but before that, so what brought you here?
Oh boy, it's a long story. So I grew up military. My dad retired as a full bird colonel, so he was big shit popping. But we moved like 7 or 8 times before I even turned 16.
That's where you get that discipline.
Yes. Oh yes, and my timeliness.
Yes, exactly. Oh my god.
Yeah, so we moved around a ton, and so nowhere was really home base. I actually moved up to Canada for my ex-husband. We'll get into that later.
We sure will.
Oh, yes. But I lived there, actually, before I came out here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I actually got here on a one-way ticket to visit some friends, and I never left, and I got my Jeep shipped out and my stuff shipped over, and so here I am.
No way. You never went back to go get it?
No, I was like, I'm staying. Yeah, I just told my parents to like package up all my shit and like.
Were they in Canada?
No. So I after Canada, I went down to Alexandria. That's where they are in Virginia. And I was just staying there for a few months until I figured out where I wanted to like be. Mm-hmm. And so, then I found San Diego and here I am.
Right. Once you land here, it's really hard to leave. So
I feel like most people that I talk to like ends up having the same kind of story. Like they just came out here and never left.
Yeah, I'm from Northern California and I came here for school, and I was like, I am never moving back to the butt crack of
with
California.
The politics right now, how they are. I don't know. California is a little, but.
But at the same time, this is just a blip in the ether of time, and I think that. Honestly, like as a whole, people are like, oh my God, you're from California. Yeah. This is the place to be.
We are lucky.
Like, I think the more that you're grateful for the things you already have, which is being from California, I'm very grateful. Like, come on, we're not from frickin' Ohio.
I am looking at the ocean, girl. Like, we have it good.
I know. We can hear the ocean waves besides the soundproof window over here, but we have it made, which is amazing. So I know that you practice this too, but like being grateful for what you have, you're going to only attract more good things to be grateful for.
My daily routines include my gratitude journaling, huge part of my day.
Me
but
too, every single morning.
Yeah.
So
I find 10 things.
Me too. Okay.
Sometimes
Have
it's
you read
like,
The
you know.
Secret?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I read a lot. I like have a library card. I pick up weekly library haul. Like I read a lot. I'm a voracious reader. Like it's insane.
I love the word voracious. You know, she reads. Yeah. So actually I love to read too. The funny thing is Marissa, who also, that's my best friend I was talking about, who takes Caitlin's class. She always is like, Chelsea, we're going to meet a man in the library. I was like, bitch, when's the last time you've been to the fucking library? But she's right. I would love to meet a man who loves to read. And there
is like the easy way to do the library now though. Like you pick your books out on the app okay. and then you just reserve them.
There's a library app?
Yes. And then you just reserve them and you go in and just pick them up from the front. Like they're already there ready for you. So you don't have to like spend hours looking through the shelves.
Well, once quarantine's over, I'm going to spend some hours looking through the shelves and looking through some other stuff.
Trust me, there ain't no men.
I know. So Marissa, you know what? I know you're going to listen to this.
It ain't it.
Okay.
It's not there.
All right. Then we're going to push on. We're going to keep going. But anyway, so glad you read. I started my gratitude practice from The Magic.
Yeah.
Which is also a book by Rhonda Byrne, who wrote The Secret. Have you read that one?
Yep.
So I love that. That transformed my life too. But every single morning, I either write 10 things I'm grateful for, or I write 10 things I say thank you, thank you, thank you in advance. So saying things 3 times, like thank you 3 times, it's the Trinity. So it just kind of puts out in the universe, like this has already happened for me. It's already there.
Yeah.
And I have manifested some crazy shit.
I feel that. Yeah. I do mine at the end of the day just because I find myself throughout the day looking for blessings and like little tidbits. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to write this down later. Like I'm grateful for this. So you find yourself looking for blessings, which is awesome.
So I have to tell you this really weird story that I manifested the other day, but it was so rad. So I am a triple number girl, like angel numbers. Do you ever, when you're driving, I see like 333, 777, anything like that. And it always tells me like I'm on the right path. Like even if I'm having a bad day and I see something like that, I'm like, okay, like this is God, this is universe telling me like everything is happening for you. So even if something isn't going my way, what I try to tell myself to flip my mindset is, so this moment is perfect because, and even if it is not a perfect moment, I just imagine my outcome. So I live in the end of like, this is what's going to happen. Even though this wasn't ideal, this is what's going to come for me. And I swear like the craziest things happen. So the other day, I have a ton of change and in my wallet, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, I have so many pennies. And how annoying is it to go like, so I go to Better Buzz Coffee. Shout out to you guys. My favorite coffee place in PB.
Life is better buzzed.
Life is better buzzed in so many ways. Can I get an amen? Oh,
these really are delicious.
Thank you. So, I was like, oh, I didn't want to pay. Like, sometimes they'll let you, but you feel like a dick, especially in the drive-thru, like giving somebody all your pennies, right? But I swear, I woke up that morning and I was like, okay, I have so many pennies. How am I gonna get rid of these pennies? I go to get my lashes done in La Mesa, and there is this little, so I'm very spiritual. There's a little spiritual shop called Amethyst Moon. My lash chick has always told me, you need to go in there, you need to go in there. So I had parked, I paid for my, like parking spot. And then when I got my lashes done and left, I was like, you know what? I'm finally going to go. Cause sometimes when I'm leaving, I just want to leave or when I'm getting there, I just, but I was like, I'm going to go in there. So they have this whole like a tiered cake tower of incense. And I just bought this really beautiful chakra little, like this chick incense holder. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to pick out 10 incense. It was like 10 for $225, but I picked out 13. I was like, oh, damn, I wish I picked out 10, but I really want 13. Yeah. As I'm picking out these incense, I hear the woman behind the counter go, I'm really short on pennies. And I said, oh my God. So I picked out my 13. I go to the front and I said, you said you're short on pennies. I got you. She goes, oh my God, I'll just charge you for 10. I'm like, okay. So then with the tax, it was $2.44. I had exactly $2 bills. I picked out every single penny from my wallet. I had 44 pennies.
That's wild.
That's how I know. Then the rest of my day, I was like, damn, I'm magic. Like anything I want is going to come to me. And it's because I put my mind to it. I literally had that thought that morning, not the morning before, not a week ago. How am I going to get rid of these pennies? Yeah. It was that morning. I was like, how am I going to do this? So anything that you hold in your mind, the more that you think of what you want, not what you don't want. If I would have thought of like, oh, God, I don't want all these pennies. I would have probably, that bitch would have given me 40 more pennies. I would have been like, oh my God. She took all my pennies. So it was like so wild. It was so cool. But I just really think that gratitude is the answer to anything. And I think that that's, I'm sure, how you've attracted your beautiful life. So
of course.
Yeah. So, okay. So you moved here to San Diego. You said you stayed here. And so let's hear a little bit about that journey. And so you said you've been in fitness, we talked a little bit earlier, for 6 years now.
Yeah. So I was actually pre-law. I went to SMU in Dallas. I'm from Texas originally.
Okay.
So I was pre-law. Kids are my true passion. Like working with kids is it makes my heart happy.
Oh, okay.
So anyways, I wanted to get into international adoption law. And that was just my whole path. I was on full academic scholarship. Like I was a nerd, but I started lifting and I started really getting into fitness and I was like, wow, this is really cool. Like, and then I just wanted to share my wealth of knowledge with people. And during that time, my social media started picking up. I got noticed by some bigger fitness pages and then bam, overnight, I'm like, I've got 10K followers. Like back then I was like, whoa, like I'm big time.
Yeah.
And then it just kept growing. And then soon, you know, I had amassed over 1 million and I'm like, wow, like that's so many people. My reach is huge. Like might as well just start a company now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I already had the customer base. Like a lot of people work forever trying to build that up. I already had it. I already had an audience. And so from there, it just kind of snowball effect into what I do now. Yeah. And it's like 4 parts. So I do my online fitness coaching and nutrition, one-on-one, that kind of thing. I do that in person now as well. I hadn't started doing that for years, actually, until just a few months ago.
Oh, really?
So that's been exciting. And then the other
you
part
kind
of
of
it.
had to, right?
Yeah. But then
Is quarantine what made you?
Yeah, because I had extra time and I was really finding myself missing like human connection.
Yeah.
And just being in person and training people in person is it's magic. You know what I mean? You get to really know your client. You get to have a friendship with them. It's so much more personable. I don't know.
Right.
It's way more my thing.
As I've personally taken her class, it's so much fun. You just feel really like it doesn't feel judgmental. Also, the great thing about the class, the Booty Bootcamp class, is it's only females.
Yes.
And there's another trainer, Sean, who is also awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's so great. Like I can't say enough good things about it, but I felt so comfortable because it's just females and they do not let you
all about women empowerment.
Feeling
comfortable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Feeling comfortable.
Pushing yourself.
So she pushes you, but like also you feel comfortable because you're not like you're doing a lot of thrusts, okay? Like you're doing some deep booty work and just being around other women who want to better their lives and better themselves.
And you don't have creepy guys around like staring at you. Yeah.
No, so it's perfect.
Yeah.
So okay, so you started your online class.
Yeah, so I do all that. And then my fitness modeling online stuff, basically having a huge following. I'm contacted by brands all the time to do, you know, endorsements, sponsorships, posts, paid posts. So that's a huge portion of what I do like throughout the week. Like I'm always shooting. I'm always like taking brand photos.
So fun,
as cringy as they are, like, oh my God, look at this.
But I did see that you said, and I really respect this, that you do not partner with brands unless you believe in because nobody wants to be sold all the time.
No,
you know?
And if you're not genuine, people absolutely see through that. And the thing is, like, I got approached by a bigger boob cream. They wanted to pay me a lot of money. But I'm like, I am not going to be a sellout because the people that are watching me, they will believe that and they will buy that. And it's bullshit. And I can't do that to people.
No,
I'm not going to be a sellout, you know, and I'm not going to brand hop either. I'm not going to be like, this is the best pre-workout this week. And then the next, oh my God, this is the best brand.
Have you tried
like,
this? Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
so
exactly.
that's not me.
That's great. You have a responsibility kind of as a person in the public eye to
I take my influence seriously. Yeah.
Exactly.
100%.
Influencer is not just like a term. It's a real thing. Like what you put out there, advertising
someone's watching.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
it took me a long time because I just feel like such a normal, down to earth girl. But like, you know, it's like a come to Jesus moment. You realize like these women look up to me, like they idolize me, like meeting people at fitness expos, they're like hyperventilating. And I'm like, I'm not that cool. I swear to God. Like, you know what I mean? But they're so excited to meet me. And like, it just feels, it's like, wow, like that's a lot of pressure to put on me, you know, to make sure that I am being my genuine self to these people.
You know what? That's one thing I super loved about you. As soon as I met you, like, and Marissa was like, oh my God, she has 1 million followers, blah, blah, blah. But you did not seem like your head was floating up to the sky. You were just there to
Some days it doesn't seem real. It's just a number to me. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, no, but like it is, are you kidding me? The craziest and most amazing accomplishment. And I know that you know that. But also what I love about you and why I'm so excited to know you is that you are so down to earth. And that is something that women do look up to. So you're not like any of these people who are just like, oh, I'm the shit, blah, blah, blah. Like confidence is one thing. Yeah. But I really love, we talk about on the show a lot, humble pie. Yeah. Like, you know, like it's all in moderation, as I'm sure you preach.
Big for your britches.
You cannot.
I mean, I've had terrible experiences with other girls just being at fitness expos. This one girl, she was like, can you get your fans to just stay away from my side of the line? I'm like, they're people and I'm not going to corral them. Like, chill out. It was, and then this one guy was trying to like talk to her and take pictures with her. And she's like, your time's up. And like pushed him away. I'm like, you are so rude. Like, these are human beings. Yeah. But that happens all across the industry. And so it's just been like, okay, like that's the opposite of what I want and who I want to be. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. I'm so like, that is so amazing and inspirational just in itself. So thank you for being you, girlfriend.
Aw, thanks. You're so sweet.
So what's your sign? When's your birthday?
I'm a Scorpio through and through.
Okay. Do you know your moon and rising?
No. I just know the little definition that you can find on Google for Scorpios, and that it fits me.
Okay, no, seriously, I love me some Scorpio.
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. Well, we'll look into the other things later. But yeah, I just always like to know because I really feel like that stuff is correct. It's like on point most of the time.
I haven't spent too much time like looking into it, but I definitely know that anytime I say I'm a Scorpio and someone that like studies all that, they're like, yes, you are. So I'm like, okay.
Did Marissa ask you?
No.
Haha, no. I'm surprised. Well, anyway, so we'll dive into that later. But yeah, so okay, great. So started your online stuff, and then what else? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to veer. There's gonna be lots of those
so
veers
it's just multifaceted what I do basically. Especially now with the in-person stuff, I'm juggling a lot of things, and then I'm running my online company. I also have a clothing line and stuff, so I stay very busy. And I have trust issues because actually, crazy story for you. My manager recently, so get this. So he'd been managing me for about 6-7 months. He made it seem like we were a family, like we would like have doggy play dates, all this stuff. Come to find out, like all these brands I kept like hearing from, and I'm like, okay, why aren't they getting back? Like this doesn't make any sense. Like these brands are usually like on it. So long story short, this brand finally got a hold of me because he had been going into my Instagram and deleting messages from people before I could see it.
Why?
So this company finally reached out and they're like, hey, we need to talk to you. Like your manager is a fraud. He owed, like, they sent him thousands of dollars to work with me. He sent me a fraudulent contract. I was signing contracts basically saying I was being paid way less, and he was taking all the money off the top. And this had been happening with so many different brand deals. And I had this huge, like, massive, like, I'm still dealing with it. Like, the cleanup of, like, me having to contact brands and be like, I'm not a part of this. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, yeah. And then he ended up reaching out to this other company, another local PB company, actually. He owes them over $9,000. Like, and then he had
stuff that was owed to you.
Yeah. And he has forged checks with another company name on it saying that he's the owner. We reached out to that company. They've never heard of him. I'm like, you are a criminal mastermind. Okay. And him and his little wife, I thought that they would go home and like watch Seinfeld. Like they seem so boring. No, they had this whole criminal underworld.
Ass. Wow.
Oh my God. Like it blew my mind. But yeah, so that's happened actually multiple times with managers and like just seedy, dirty people like that. And I'm too trusting. Because it's for a good person, it's really hard to understand those kind of actions because my brain doesn't work that way. I would never think to do that. So I'm not going to assume that you would be doing that.
That is so crazy.
So it blew my mind. I'm like, what? Like what?
So was there any legal repercussions?
Yeah. So they have actually like 5 lawsuits right now against him. He disappeared. He's completely in the wind. Like, but I reached out to everyone that I know that he's been in contact with just to let them know like who he is. But this is obviously not the first time he's been up to something like this. Wow. He had forged checks. Like you and I wouldn't know where to get those. Like
how do you? Yeah. That's some black market bullshit.
Yeah. I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Lisa, how'd you find him?
So he works at a studio that I was shooting at a lot, and he said he used to manage like big name rappers and stuff. And he was like, "You're making me want to get back into it." And then I was telling him how I got screwed over by my last manager. He looked me in the eye and was like, "That's absolutely terrible that someone could do that to you." And he did it way worse. So I'm like, okay, yeah. But he a lot of people see me as like, you know, their money cow, and I don't think like that. So it's hard for me. So now I'm just like, okay, I'm a one-woman show. I don't trust anyone, but it's hard. Like I have all these businesses that I'm trying to run myself. And sometimes some days I'm like, oh my God, I have so much shit to do.
Well, so yeah, that guy is a loser and a leech. That is so crazy. Yes. I'm sorry that had to happen. But yeah, like now you know that you have to run the show, I guess.
It's just hard for me because I like having a manager because I think it's cringy to like broker your own deals and ask for more money and like negotiate prices.
You want somebody on your team.
I want someone to be like, hey, like actually like let's raise the price on this because usually I'll just be like, you know, I'll be like, oh, thank you for the offer. Yeah, like let's do it. And then I like lowball myself. So
wait, so have you not found a new one?
No, this just happened.
Yeah,
this happened like 2-3 weeks ago.
Okay, well, I am.
That was so why my podcast was on hold because it was at the studio that he was working at, and so yeah, and he actually had all my podcasts like set up, and so I was like, how am I going to get this back from this guy? So like I was like going to show up to the studio with cops. Like, it was it's been really fun.
Wow, so much fun. Well, so this will be fun because it is going to manifest for you. I know this. Yes. So Caitlin talked to me about her podcast that she is going to start with quarantine. She put it on hold, but do you want to talk about a little bit about what that's going to be, or are we still kind of?
It's still in the works now. Okay. I think I'm going to revamp like the whole idea behind it. yeah, I don't know. My time, I'm very busy lady lately. So
Yes.
yeah,
The
when
name
I have
is-
more time, I want to do more projects for sure.
Yes, what the name is so cute. She told me it and I was like, oh my God, that is so
Yeah.
perfect. So yeah, once that comes out, that will for sure be blasted out on our channel as well. So look out for that. It's gonna be amazing. Wow. So you're a busy lady.
So many projects.
So many projects.
So I recently lost 40 pounds. And so, okay, yeah, I know that sounds crazy, but I never looked really fat. I was just really like super dense. Like, I guess I was 180 pounds. Like, I'm 140 now, but like that was insane. So I was like, okay, I don't want to be this heavy anymore.
Right.
First of all, and then second of all, with the quarantine, I couldn't work out in the gym. So I lost so much muscle mass, but I'm super stoked on it. So now I'm like feeling good about myself, and like I can count all my abs in the morning. So I'm like, okay, I can do photo shoots and I can like, do video stuff again. So now I'm just like overbooking myself, just like getting content.
Let me get this while
I'm
it's
like,
hot.
yo.
Wait, so how did you do that? That's amazing.
I was absolutely insane with my diet. I was so strict. Like, if quarantine didn't bring out the hustler in you, it ain't in you. You know what I mean? Like, if you spent the whole time on your couch drinking, like, I'm not judging you, but like, I took that time to like, for me time. Like, I don't have anything else to do. Like, I'm gonna work on myself. Like,
do you know what I did in quarantine? This.
Yeah.
The first month.
Hell yeah.
The first month of quarantine, I said, you know what?
Amazing.
Let's take a moment. And then I said, you know what? Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, I feel like for a lot of people, quarantine like gave them like, all these people complain, oh my God, if I just had time off, if I just had time, if I had time to do this. And then what did you do with the time? Nothing.
Nothing. And then now it's over.
Complained about having the time. And it's like,
bitch.
Yes. You'll stay the same. So
exactly. No, we don't like complainers.
Yeah.
We like changers. Let's be game changers. Let's change what we're doing, because you can't do the same thing and expect
mover and
different
shaker,
results.
baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
Shake. So, okay, so that's amazing. Your diet. So was it like a crazy crash diet or just kind of like?
No, I'm very careful with my macros. I still like weigh everything out and stuff. Like, yeah, I mean, it's not that hard. It's just a slight calorie deficit.
Okay.
It's simple. Like, a lot of people overcomplicate it and like they want to do trendy fad diets. I would never suggest any of that. Like, it's so easy, honestly. Like, just eat less than you're burning. You know what I mean? Like, and then you're like, it's science. And people are like, I'm not losing weight. I'm like, because you're not in a calorie deficit. And they're like, but I am. I'm like, but you're not.
But you're not. What are you secretly eating?
Yeah, but people don't realize like they're weighing their meat wrong.
Okay.
They're throwing like 5 tablespoons of light ranch, thinking that that's, only.
I love ranch.
Yeah. I mean, that all of these problems, like I used to have too. But you know what I mean? And then a tablespoon of peanut butter, guys, it is a lot smaller than you think. Like, it is so much smaller than you think it is. It is not a spoonful. It's not.
It's not a spoon from your table. It's a tablespoon, which is like.
But yeah, so people make those like, tiny mistakes, but those calories add up to like, an extra 500 calories in your day. And then
if you're not
out of your,
then you're, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, so one of my favorite quotes is, nobody wants a bone but a dog. So, I definitely always am like, okay, I'm down to, trim up, tone up, all that. But that is, I would love to lose some weight too. So I'll have to talk to you about your secrets later.
I got you, girl.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Kate.
Yeah. Yes. Love that. Okay, cool. So, so what's your, like, you train, how many days a week do you train others?
Right now I'm adding new clients in. I have pretty much a couple people every day now.
Really?
Yeah. It's gotten a lot busier than, I might have to. So right now, while I have the time, I'm totally down with it. But as soon as like all this quarantine stuff has like been lifted and I'm trying to lose another 12 pounds and like really like dial it in and possibly do a show. But like once I'm there, like I'm going to be so busy with other things. Like I'm going to feel bad like dropping clients and stuff. But there's so many other projects that I have coming up. Like I want my own facility to do things. And then when I have the time to do that, then I can train trainers to train like me and like use my methods and stuff. And then kind of work that in, you know what I mean? And have more time for myself to do all of my projects, because I'm a yes lady and I say yes to way too many things.
Yes, man. Best movie ever.
Yeah, dude. So I'm always busy. So I need to just like focus in, dial in like the projects that are super important to me, get all that dialed away, and then kind of take a step back and be able to like run things from behind the scenes kind of thing.
Totally. So how did you meet Sean to partner with him?
Randomly, me and this friend of mine, we just started going to the gym to work out. He offered a free session, and I was like, this gym is so cool. Like, you've been in there. The vibe in there is cool. It's the only gym I've ever been to where like no one wears headphones. The music is loud and blasting. Everyone's talking to each other. It's a community. It's a vibe in there, and it's just like, it feels like home. It feels like family, and like you can be in there with your camera. Like for an influencer like me, going to a Glow gym. You know that new page, Influencers in the Wild?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, yo, stop making fun of me for getting my shit. Like, I'm just taking a video right now. Okay?
So we're on
I don't look stupid. Like, who cares?
We're on our grind. If you're not, get got.
Like, I understand the girl twerking in a thong at the beach. Like, that's funny. But, like,
that's a little bit, yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like,
rolling in the sand. But
yeah.
no.
Like,
but either way, let people be them. Like, I get that is kind of
like, I'm making a workout video. Like, chill.
No, so yeah, and then like honestly, I loved one thing that motivated me after we got done with the workout. I saw like she made a bunch of videos of all of us, tagged all of us to be like, yes, like we support you. Like you're out here doing it. It's not for anything but like motivation, and also like fuck what anybody thinks.
And it's so cool because it's a community. It's like, I mean, look at this. Like, I'm sitting down with you, you know what I mean? Like, personally, I've met so many awesome chicks on like from that. Like, I'm, you know, adding to my friend group. Like, it's just such a solid environment to like.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And so it's a girls only class, the booty boot camp, but there were some men in the gym, but nobody
super respectful.
So respectful. Nobody is like oogling you, watching you. It is like a completely different
because all
side.
the people in there are there to work. Like, everyone is working on themselves in there. Like, you go to a Globo gym, like I used to go to 24. This guy would be in the gym 4 hours walking from machine to machine. Like, I'm like, you're not working any single muscle group. You're working on whatever machine is next to mine, just to stare at me. I'm like, ooh, like it literally made it made me boil. Like, I was so angry, like, you know what I mean? And but being around that versus being comfortable to take my videos, wear whatever the hell I want. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
totally.
That's my vibe.
I personally, I went to 24 here in PB for a long time, but it was just always, it always just felt like, even the one in Balboa, which is like one of the biggest 24s in the country. It's beautiful, but seriously, it just felt like.
And you're fighting with people over machines and
fighting with people over machines. All the dudes try to come up and they're acting like they're trying to.
Public service announcement: do not pick up chicks at the gym. We don't care.
We're not trying to fuck you. We are trying to finesse these gains. So please do not it's uncomfortable. And honestly, like we did this move, Caitlin did this move where you put this belt around your waist and you are just thrusting the fuck out of this. And I'm like
you can have your hands on your hips. You're like, yeah.
It was so funny, but also like it works your freaking ass. I want to work my ass. I'm not trying to like have you get in this. So please mind your business. So that is definitely. So that's why I'm so excited that I found this with you, and I'm so glad that we're here today. You are a rock star, girl. So
thanks.
So thank you for inspiring me, because now I'm like one of my good girlfriends is doing personal training with you too, and I'm like, okay, I'm about to get on this. Like, seriously, like you are the embodiment of what anyone should be, like physically, mentally.
You're making me blush.
Good. I know I'm blowing smoke up your ass, right? But it's true. It's really true. So you should be proud, and I know that I'm sure you are. So are you an only child?
No, I'm the middle kid.
Okay.
I have an older sister. She is a doctor. She's pregnant with her second baby.
Wow.
My little brother plays for the Chicago Cubs.
Shut up.
Yeah. But obviously that's been difficult right now for him, especially because sports have been basically canceled. 2020 is canceled.
So what's going on with that?
So I guess their organization is having to drop a lot of players. Everything's like on hold. They didn't have their season. So it's kind of up in the air. And you know what I mean? Like, but think about it this way. Even other sports, kids in high school right now, they're not in school, they're not playing, they're not getting looked at by scouts. Like their whole, all of it's messed up. Like, I feel terrible for that. Like kids, like, because imagine if that had happened to my brother because he was from T-ball up, like obsessed with baseball. That was his only thing. You know what I mean? And so take that away. It's like, what are these kids going to do? Like that was their whole dream, their whole life. Like, what are you going to do now? It's terrible.
So I was overhearing some guy friends the other day. Hasn't the baseball season started though? Or...
Okay, so basically when COVID like broke out and all that stuff, my brother had literally just driven to Arizona for spring training.
Okay.
He drove like all the way from Florida, where he lives with his wife, to Arizona, gets there, is there for less than 3 hours, and they canceled all the spring training. He had to drive back.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I just drove to Arizona over the weekend, and it was like 6 hours. Can't imagine how long it was from Florida.
I think it's like a day and a half.
Probably like 2 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it's all up in the air right now, but we'll see where things go.
Well, so a family of successful, amazing people. Yes. That's awesome.
Yes. My parents are still together. They're like my besties. I love them.
And you said they live in Virginia?
Yeah. They live in Alexandria.
Okay, so what's Virginia like? So right now,
it's beautiful.
I like to talk about a lot of U.S. destinations because, people...
I've been to almost every single state and pretty much lived in all of them as well. So
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Really? That's because the military. Okay.
Yeah, we moved a lot.
Okay, so let's talk about oh my God, I've been so interested in hearing about you. Yeah. What are your 3 favorite places that you've ever traveled?
I love Tulum. We just me and my man went there not this past summer, but the one before.
Mm-hmm.
I love Tulum. It's very boutique-y. Like, it doesn't feel like Mexico. It feels almost like its own, like, island vibe. I don't know. It doesn't feel like Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really cute. Everything, like, they don't have any, like, you know, huge, massive, all-inclusive hotels. It's like boutique hotels, like very, like,
Did you guys stay in a
jungly.
hotel or
Yeah.
Airbnb? Okay.
Yeah. And it was like, it's just very jungly, very, really, like, it's tiny little spots. They have this huge outdoor gym. And like all of the weights are like made out of like bamboo, like looking stuff. It's so cool. Yeah. It's really awesome there.
Very cool. Is your man into fitness too?
He is. So he's a little CrossFitter.
Oh.
I don't get on board with that. But lately he's been like doing the traditional bodybuilding style lifts. So I'm stoked on that.
Good. Okay,
Yeah.
do you guys train together?
We have in the past. It's just obviously training with girls versus guys is very different. Like, he wants to do chest. I'm like,
No.
I bought these. I don't work on them.
Yeah, you're all no thanks. Like,
yeah, you know, and I'm working booty all day. Like, imagine my man's doing some of the moves that you guys were doing. You know what I mean? He's like not down. So no, he has his training buddy, and then I've got mine.
I think that's good. It's good to go to the gym together, but work out
During
separately.
quarantine though, like, you know, I did a bunch of his like garage style CrossFit workouts, and it's a dick dragger.
Yeah.
It's not the most
A
fun.
dick tracker, everyone.
That's one of his CrossFit words, so it felt appropriate.
I love that. Oh my God. That's amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's great. Okay, so place number 2.
I love Wales and England. So I'm Irish and Scottish.
Same, baby.
Yeah. And I have a lot of family that actually still lives in London and lives in Wales. So visiting them was amazing. It's so pretty there. It feels unreal. Like,
I stayed
it looks
in London
unreal.
for 10 days, but Wales, like
London is fun, girl.
London is fun.
Yeah.
So I did London for 10 days, Scotland for 4, and Ireland for 4.
I'm jealous on the Scotland.
Scotland is my favorite place. I would live in Scotland.
Yeah.
Edinburgh was like the
Yeah.
most beautiful place. The people are so fun.
Yeah.
So cool. And when
Yeah.
I went, it was in March, but it was like sunny. People were like, "Oh, you brought the California sunshine, did you?" Like, it was so
Look at that little accent. That's cute.
It was so fun. I
Yeah.
loved it. It's gorgeous. There's so much history there. But so Wales, I actually didn't even consider it on my trip, but once you mentioned it to me, I started looking into it actually last night.
It's beautiful. There's not a ton to do because it's very
a
small.
lot of like
But it's
castles
just
and like pretty
but
stuff.
it's just very gorgeous.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so-
would suggest popping over there.
So tell me about your trip there. Like, how long were you there? What'd you do there? And
So I did the same thing basically. I was in London visiting family there, and then I was there for 2 weeks, and then I popped over to Wales for a week just to stay with that family. Yeah, so that was really fun too.
so how close is that family? Because that's pretty cool.
They are like second, third cousins, so I mean, not really like that type, but
Did you like reach out to them, or did you grow up kind of seeing them?
no.
or-
So everyone in my family kind of has this like trip like to London just basically to go abroad. My sister did one, so I did one, and we all like go and stay with the same family, and like, you know, they send us off on our own. Like, that wasn't my first time alone though, because I went to boarding school in India for part of high school.
Boarding school.
I got
Were
shipped
you
off
a
to
bad?
boarding-
Were you a bad
Yes.
girl?
Well, so I was homeschooled all the way growing up because my parents didn't want to put us in schools because we were moving around so much. But I'm a social butterfly, and so I was the only one in my family. My sister went to college at 16 to play performance piano, and now on full scholarship. Yeah. And now she's a doctor, so I was like, wow, prodigy kid, great.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I got to work a little harder.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I ended up going to high school my freshman year for the first time in a school. And
No way.
I was
Wow.
very innocent. My parents sheltered me. I did not know what was what. Like, I barely even knew what sex was. Like, I was,
What?
yeah. And I was like a 15, 16-year-old with like a full C cup. Like, I was in for just, you know, whatever. Anyways, so yeah. So my first time ever drinking was the night before with the volleyball team. And I guess all the senior guys made bets on the freshman girls and stuff. Long story short, yeah. So basically the next day, all these girls were vicious, dude. This was my first like real taste of like vicious, jealous women. I was like, oh
Jealous
my God.
women
And then,
is a real thing.
and you know what? The road has just gotten darker and darker as it progresses through life. But
haters, guess what? The haters show you're doing something right.
But
Fuck
I was
'em.
so sweet and innocent, and like I just had no idea. Anyways, they put vodka in my locker. I was on full scholarship again for academics, and all these rich kids. It was like a very private Catholic school. They put the vodka in my locker and then said that I held a knife to her throat in gym class and made her drink it. I'm like, first of all,
That is a wild
Yeah.
tale.
yeah. So anyways, I got expelled, and so my parents didn't believe me. They didn't believe me at all. So I was so
They
pissed.
thought you put a knife to somebody's throat.
I guess.
What the fuck?
They feel really terrible about it. Every Christmas I bring it up. So
Good. Thank you.
just a little reminder.
As you drink vodka.
Yeah. But anyways, so actually I was third generation of my family to go to this boarding school in India. So it wasn't that like, you're going to India, like randomly.
Okay,
it was a British-based boarding school. It was very nice. It was basically a castle. Like,
Why
I can show you
India?
pictures. A third generation in the family to go there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to see pictures though.
Yeah. It was beautiful. I ended up getting kicked out of that place too.
For the same thing?
for drinking, girl. I ended up drinking. Like, all these schools are just very, very strict.
Cheers to that.
Okay,
Woo!
but like when I say that, I'm talking like they found one beer in my dorm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a teenager. I'm gonna have like I wasn't like holding knives to people's throats or getting crazy, you know. So
That is
but
insane,
it wasn't kicked out. They suspended me, but I'm like, if I'm going all the way back to America, I ain't coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I graduated high school in Huntsville, Alabama.
Okay. Wow. Really, you have been pimping all over the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you in Alabama, you graduated high school, and then after that.
After that, I was trying to decide where I was going to college. During this time, I actually had like a borderline eating disorder. I was super tiny, but I got into like fashion modeling, and technically I'm too short to do that kind of stuff.
How tall are you?
5'4".
Okay.
But like, you know, all these like this, like I'm talking like Vogue stuff. Like, I'll show you my old comp card. Like, I look way taller. But yeah, so I got super into modeling. Like, that's what I wanted to do. I was almost like, no college for me, like blah blah. In my family, that's not gonna happen. So yeah, so I ended up getting a scholarship to SMU. I actually wanted to go to UCLA. I toured around here first, but I don't know, just seemed I liked SMU because there you're not just a number. Because it's a smaller, like, it's, you know, 20, 25 people in a class.
Right.
Like, you know, they know you, they know your face, and, you know, and you get like kind of specialized attention instead of like a huge, massive college. So
Yeah,
it was a good choice, and I love Dallas. I love Dallas.
Do you?
Yes.
Okay. So, love Dallas. How long did you live in Texas?
So I graduated a year early. And during this time, I guess my sophomore year, I met my ex-husband, tragically, on spring break in Mexico. Seriously. It was just, oof.
It's okay. Tell us about that.
Well, he has tribal tattoos, so we should just start there.
We should know. Okay.
Anyway, so we met,
Okay. Okay.
Canadian.
Okay.
So anyways, we met in Mexico. I was basically super against like most guys. Like, I was like, fuck that. Like, I was like, do you see him? He looks like a douche. My friend was like, he's hot. Like, can I have him? I was like, please keep him. That's fine.
Your man?
Yeah. He walks over and he edges her out and puts his arm around me. And he's like, hey. And I'm like, oh God.
Damn it.
Yeah. I was like, go prove to me that, like, you know, that you're about me. I was like, climb to the top of that palm tree. He climbs to the top of this palm tree, girl, and slides down like it's bloody. Like, have you ever seen anyone try to slide down a palm tree? It's not a great sight.
God.
But he did, and he was so serious about talking to me. So I was like, okay, he's kind of funny. Like, he's
okay.
He's trying really fucking hard. So.
He bled for me.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So it was like a whirlwind trip, and then at the end of it, we were just like, oh my God, like, this is it. This is everything. But I was young, so it was like, you know, your first love. So it's like, whatever. And then a month later, we met up in Vegas and had like a little makeshift wedding with like an Elvis. My parents hate me. No,
Wait, did you go to a little wedding chapel, the one with Elvis out front?
Yes.
I was just there yesterday.
Yeah.
So I just went on a little like Sedona Grand Canyon Vegas trip, and I took pictures out in front of that chapel with the Elvis out front.
Yeah, so I was there
with the pink
yes,
Cadillac.
Yes, I have gotten married there.
Oh my God! Okay.
Okay, but this is like, so I decided I didn't give them my ID. Like, I was like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not gonna legally marry you. So it was more of like a commitment ceremony type thing. We were wasted. It's Vegas. Anyway, so that was our second meeting. And then after that, we started doing long distance, which is, I feel like it's easy to think that you know someone when you're doing long distance because every time you see them, it's vacation time. They're on their best behavior. Like, if there's a fight, it's like, no, we're not going to fight because we only have a week together. Like,
it's going to be all love.
You don't deal, so you don't deal with real life situations or problems. And so, you know, to do that for 2 years and then graduate college early to move up to Canada, like, once I got up there, I had this instant gut feeling that I had made a huge mistake. You know what I mean? And I told my family that, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
What made you feel that?
It was just,
I know it's like, I know the gut feeling you're talking about, but was there
the deepest gut feeling I've ever had. It was just like, and I had it the same day that I walked down the aisle, like, literally, like, ugh.
Oh my God.
I told my dad literally as we were walking down, I was like, I was like, this is a mistake. We shouldn't be doing this. And my dad was like, we can turn around. And I'm like, nah, like, everyone's already here. We had this huge destination wedding. Everyone's already there. And I'm like, ugh, I just felt stuck.
What did your parents
Oh,
think about
also,
him?
I had the most gorgeous dress. You should probably see it.
I would love to see it. What did your parents think about him?
They hated him.
Show
him.
me. So they hated him, but why did your dad say okay then? Because my dad would be like, fuck that.
It was completely see-through.
Wow.
Look at the back of it.
Look how tiny.
Yeah, that was itty bitty.
Oh.
It's my sister.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, I think that a lot of times as women, we can want something so bad. Like we want to be in a relationship. We want this and that and that. And then we just force someone to fit in this box that doesn't belong in that box. And that happens to so many people. You know what I mean? Like you want it so bad. And so you're just going to try to force someone to be that when it's not right. And that was really my situation. And he was a narcissist and really pulled the wool over my eyes. So I felt really trapped. I felt very stuck. And he made me feel like, wow, like, if you're not with me, no one will ever love you. So like, you're lucky to, you know what I mean? But he really broke me down as a person. And so bringing myself back out of that has been this like long journey. And I'm so fucking proud of like how, you know, where I'm at now.
Exactly.
And just to be able to like come out of that and see that, I wish I could I was thinking about writing actually a book about it just because it affected me so deeply. And I know a lot of women also deal with the same, you know, kind of situations.
Yes.
And then never get out of it. Like the bravest thing I ever did was leaving. And it was the scariest thing. I lost all my money. He took over $1 million from me. I literally lost all my company, everything, because everything had to be in his name because I wasn't Canadian. Yeah.
Oh my
So I got royally screwed. He cheated on me. He drugged me through the dirt. So.
Well, guess what? They tried to bury us, but they didn't know we were seeds, motherfucker. So guess what? We are blossoming into the most beautiful, insane, overgrown fucking forest princesses you've ever seen in your fucking life. And you're going to be sorry because you're the dirt bitch.
Also, on a side note, sometimes your haters can be your biggest motivators because this is why I started building my booty, okay? He made fun of my ass because I had a flat ass. He would make fun of it all the time. He would make me feel absolute crap about it. So you know what I told him? I was like, I'm going to grow the biggest butt and I'm going to be famous for it. And y'all, guess what I did?
Guess what?
Guess what I did? Yeah.
There we go. I love Lady Gaga so much. She has like the most beautiful voice ever. She's such a badass and a weirdo, which I love. And she said that one of her boyfriends said that she would never be famous. And she said, you are never going to be able to walk into another fucking deli, anything else in your life without hearing one of my songs. And she took over the world.
Exactly.
And that's
sometimes
what you did with your ass.
That just lights a fire in you and makes you like, you know, just head full force to this goal. Like I wouldn't say that I did it for him. I did it in spite of him.
So that is such an amazing, we're transitioning to that right now. So I have been in a really toxic relationship as well. And it actually is what made me move to San Diego. So personally, so it was 10 years ago now, which is so crazy to say. I feel like we're so young but so old at the same time to be able to say that. But so my high school sweetheart, we were together for several years. Everyone was like, oh, you guys are gonna get married. We were so in love. I remember they would go on a boys trip, him and his friends, every year, and only boys were allowed, but they loved me so much and they were like, you guys are like two peas in a pod. You guys are the same person. And I remember him looking at me, like holding my face and us crying together, him being like, I love you so much. Like so in love, just like, it was amazing. Well, it was long distance as well, actually. So I lived in Sacramento area and he was going to school in San Francisco. And every weekend I'd either go to his house or my dad lived in the Bay Area. So it was like every other weekend thing. But we were like so in love. It was so perfect, so amazing. But some switch flicked after a little bit of time and he was very possessive, very jealous. I wore it one day. I remember I wore the sundress. So his family lived in the town that I lived in. And so he'd be home a lot too. I wore a sundress to go to the mall. It was super cute, whatever. Come home to his house and he said, what the fuck are you wearing? And I was like, excuse me. And his mom was like, are you kidding me? Like, don't fucking talk to her like that. And I'm just like, so that was like one of my first indicators. And then one day I was in San Francisco visiting him and we were playing a card game and I beat him 3 times in a row. And I thought it was funny. Come on, we're playing cards, whatever. And so I like chuckled and laughed. He dead ass, straight face, looked at me in the face and these are my cards. I brought them, ripped up. Like grabbed my cards from my hands, ripped up the card without blinking, ripped up the cards in front of my face. I literally was so scared. I like ran to the bathroom, cried. Mind you, I was a much younger person. If this happened now, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Dude, what are you doing?
But so, and then he's like, I'm sorry, baby, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward a little bit further. One night, his mom made lasagna. This is actually a really funny story, but so crazy. So his mom made lasagna. They're Italian. Love them. It was really hard. If you've ever dated an Italian guy, their mothers are hard as fuck. Like, so it was hard to get in through her barrier at first, but then once I got in there, she's like, oh my God, I love you so much.
Yeah.
You know, like literally people, like we were going to get married, but then he just turned this switch. Like, I don't know what it was, but so he microwaved this lasagna on a paper plate. First of all, you're a fucking idiot. Lasagna is the most dense thing on this earth besides a fucking volcano, okay? So you're not gonna microwave that, and it's gonna be hot. So basically the paper plate got flimsy, and when he went to pull out the lasagna, the whole plate just like and the lasagna like hit the floor, fucking splash everywhere. And I start cracking up because that's hilarious. Who's not gonna laugh? He looks at me, I swear, he was like freaking King Kong in this moment. Didn't beat his chest, but might as well have. Picked up this piping hot lasagna, and he was a pitcher. He actually played for the college he went to in San Francisco. Grabbed this lasagna and threw it so hard through the blinds to the window that the window was like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, batting practice. Okay.
Yeah, he threw it through the window, and then I basically just sat there silently. He went outside, started yelling, whatever, and he came back inside. I just sat there, and he was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, are you fucking happy now? But just like, that was when I knew, I'm like, that I need to get out of this. But we'd been together for so long. It's like sometimes now I know, like, I'm super picky. I would never accept anything like that. But it took me like probably 8 months to break up with him after that, because he was like, you can't leave me. Like, we're going to be together. I actually signed a lease to move to San Diego with like 3 of my girlfriends and did not tell him about it, because I knew that if he was super negative and wanted to control me, what I'm wearing, if I went like anything, you know? And so I didn't tell him, but it forced me to break up with him before I moved. And we're actually cool now. I don't think he's like a bad person, but he just wasn't the person for me. Yeah. But I thank God for his negativity and his attempt to bury my light, because it literally made me burst out to this bright fucking ray of sunshine that I am. And it made me say, I will never let a man talk to me, disrespect me, or keep me in a cage like that person tried to do. And then so I moved to San Diego, and after that, the rest is history. Yeah. And here we are today. But like, absolutely fucking insane.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes it's more important to figure out what you don't want than what you do want. You know what I mean? Because you can want all these things, you know, but then if you don't really identify like things that are your absolute non-negotiables in a relationship, you'll fall for anything. You know what I mean? Like, you got to hold your ground, be very specific with what you're looking for, what you expect, and what you'll, take. So yeah,
exactly. Yeah. If you don't have boundaries, then people will cross them every single time. So we were talking earlier, and you said you have a list of deal breakers. I would love to hear that.
Okay. This is going to make me, some of them make me sound a little shallow, but
it's okay. I love it.
Okay. So yeah, when I was single, I was very specific with the things that I was looking for, because when I date, I've never been a casual dater. I'm very much a relationship type person.
Me too, yeah.
I want to date to marry. You know what I mean? I want to find someone that I want to spend the rest of my life with, like someone that will work with me and go through problems with me. Someone that has all those things and is willing to work and grow with me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not expecting them to come to me being a perfect person. Right. But I'll tell you one thing. Don't get yourself a fixer-upper, because they're never going to be fixed up.
Thank you, baby.
Like projects, you know what I mean? And I used to date like projects, and that was just always my problem. Like, I was like, he's got so much potential. Like, if I just do this, like, maybe he'll change. Anyways, so I made a very long list. The number one thing on the top of my list must be over 6 foot. And, I warned my boyfriend.
I like that too.
I warned my boyfriend. He's 6'1". I'm like, don't be getting too big for your britches. You barely made the height cut.
And bitch, you're going to shrink in 20 years. So
his dad actually went through a growth spurt at the age of 30 and grew like 3 inches. His dad's like 6'5". He's huge.
Wow, that's crazy.
I was like, okay, if that happens, like, I'm not gonna be mad.
I ain't gonna be mad. My dad's 6'3", so like, let's try to measure up, boys.
Yeah. So that was on my list. It was really important to me that parents are still together. I know that a lot of people can be great coming from a broken home, but for me, being so close with my family and just having someone that knows what a good relationship is, that knows like how to fight for something. I feel like a lot of people that have been from broken families see that as like, okay, well, I can just give up on this relationship because my parents did, or like, you know what I mean? Like when the going gets tough type of thing.
Right.
And that totally, can differentiate with, with people that shouldn't be together, but they stayed together. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of wiggle room with that. But having a good family basically was like a big deal for me. No, being close with your parents, like a guy that hates his mother, that's never going to work.
Oh, girl, I have a story. Yes, go.
Yeah. So, so basically I would make this whole list of things. I also will not date any Mustang drivers. that's big on my list.
So let's hear a big why, boys.
Oh, I know people that drive Mustangs.
That's okay.
Basically, it comes with a personality set. I truly believe that. It's just it's a little too douchey for me. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Like it's the guy that's doing burnouts in the parking lot at 3 a.m. Like, you know, you're revving your engine at the corners of like. What do you expect? That girl to flash you on the corner? Like, what's the point of that?
So here's actually a funny story of this guy who drove a Mustang I dated, and I actually broke up with him because of, honestly, a reason or how he drove. So not how he drove like around, but so one night we went to go get sushi, and one thing that I love about people who are respectful, like you said, down to earth, whatever. Mm-hmm. We went to go to sushi at Zen 5 here in PB. I don't know, like you know how there's like a couple spots in front of, but people that sit inside are eating, the window is right there.
Yeah.
He pulls up and parks diagonal in his fucking Mustang across 3 spots, including the
Apparently Mustangs just come with like no rules. Like you can park wherever, drive however. It's like,
including the handicap spot. And let me tell you, I hadn't had sex with this person, and nor did I ever after this. So he pulls up and parks diagonal. I said, you better fucking move your car right now. I looked at him. I was like, and he laughed at me and got out of the car. So he left me. He went to go get the food inside because we were taking it. I was like hiding my face because once again, people could like, you know, see we were parked right there. So rude. And then we get to his apartment. He lived downtown, this like high rise, and he parked diagonal across 2 spots.
That's a perfect example of Mustang drivers. Like all the videos that you see on Instagram are from people from that restaurant. You know what I mean? Just like, oh, here's a Mustang driver doing Mustang things. Like that's what they do. I just don't understand. Must come in the manual.
Who do you think you are? And this guy was rich. He had lots of money, always talked about it.
Get a nicer car.
Don't fucking, he had a couple cars, but that night is what we took out. He parked diagonal across 2 spots that night, and I said, are you fucking kidding me? He was like, oh, it's fine. I like pay for these spots. I said, no. You look like a douchebag, and that is not a good look for me.
No, that was big on my list too. Someone that's considerate of others. Like,
Consideration.
if you're ever rude to any wait staff or people like that, like absolutely not. That's a huge deal breaker. My parents would kill me if I dated another guy with tattoos. The tribal tattoos were really a deal breaker. No one in my family, I think that it's hot on guys.
I love tattoos.
But lucky for me,
I don't have any.
I don't have any either. My man doesn't either, so I'm good.
You don't put a bumper sticker on a Bentley.
Ooh. See, that's what I say. Like, yeah.
My parents are actually okay with tattoos because both of them have them. Surprisingly, I do not have any, and you don't either, right?
No, not one.
I love tattoos on other people. I think they're sexy.
It depends what they are. Like, I don't like patchy tattoos. If you get a full sleeve, okay, and it depends what's on the sleeve. But like the patchy, like MMA style or like the Navy style, the Navy boys with their patchy little tattoos, I'm like, no.
Do you know what I can't do? Barbed wire.
Oh,
that is a
the Spider-Man elbow.
First of all, that is the most pain I have ever imagined. But also barbed wire, that means do not enter. I will not be climbing that barbed wire fence, bitch.
I dated a guy with his ex's name literally on his chest.
No, you lie and say that's your mother or your grandmother, okay? You do not tell me that's your ex's name because we will have to slice that off. It's not going to be an option.
No.
But no, so yeah, this guy that I dated, he had tattoos all over and it was so freaking hot to me. So the rest of it, like you said, they need to be cohesive. Yeah. So his chest and his like arms to here were cohesive. And I love that because his tattoo stopped at his shirt line. So you couldn't tell. Mm-hmm. But then when it was off, I was like, oh! Like there's just something, right?
There is. If they're done right, yeah.
Something. But his back was a bunch of random nonsense. So I was like,
it's probably because he can't see it.
Yeah, he's just like, throw whatever back there. That's good. But anyway, no. So tattoos are great, but we talked about, parent things. So my parents aren't together still, but I like both my parents love me so much. They both have,
That's more what I meant. Like if you come from a good family that's like not a toxic
Yeah, definitely.
Situation.
They're not toxic. I mean, like maybe when I was younger, but no, like totally. They both love me so much, have their own relationships that are great. But this particular tatted ex of mine, he had mommy issues. Oh. And let me tell you, like, I super like loved him. And I'm like you said, you don't want a project.
Yeah.
But there's something about being a woman where you're like, oh, I can help.
You want to nurture. You want to fix it.
I can help.
Ew.
You can't help that shit that you have going on, sir. So, but anyway, that's for another podcast. But he was sexy to look at, but good to look at, but not good for my soul. So let's talk about, you told me this crazy story about when you first moved here.
Oh God. Yeah. So I firmly believe if you are single, like you do unfortunately have to actively try to date. You know what I mean? You do have to put yourself out there. And after my ex, after my divorce, or whatever, it was very hard for me to want to like date because I was so jaded and I was still working on myself.
You're like, fuck, but everyone's gonna fuck me over. Yeah.
But at the same time, like I moved out here and I was like, okay, I'm ready to date again. So, I got up on Bumble and everyone's like, you have so many followers, you must be a catfish. Everyone assumed, I literally got my Bumble account. Bumble deleted my profile at least like multiple times because they're like, you're impersonating this girl, Caitlin. I'm like, I am Caitlin.
It me.
Let me date.
It me, baby.
Anyway, no, I had to like literally call Bumble and be like, can you please put my profile back up?
No way. Okay, wait, so why'd you pick Bumble?
I don't know. I guess Hinge is the new thing, but I've been off the market for like 3 years now, so.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, good.
But anyways, yeah, Bumble was like the up and coming thing, and it's not Tinder. Tinder's always been a little rough, I think.
Tinder's to fuck.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But anyways, basically, so take someone like me. I'm an entrepreneur. At that time, I wasn't training people in person. So like, where am I going to meet a man?
You're right.
Where am I going to meet a man? And I love online dating because I'll tell you this. You get to take that checklist that you made and you get to ask them all these questions before you even have to waste your time sitting at dinner with them.
Yeah.
And you get to see what they look like before you're like, oh, wow, like, I
like a preview.
No, I want to see what you look like, and then I want to like nail down all these things. Like once we're chatting, I can see if your grammar's off. All these things. Oh my goodness!
Please be a good texter. If I go to the restaurant,
don't have a green text phone.
Green text is honestly the absolute worst.
That was actually like it was like
that's a deal breaker. I'll say this: it's a deal breaker. Get an iPhone, bitch.
Yeah. Apple. Anyways,
yep.
But yeah, so I really loved online dating because you could get all these things out of the way before you even had to waste time sitting at dinner with someone. So by the time I got to dinner, it was all with guys that like I was like, I can see something. And if the chemistry's not there, then it's not there.
Right.
But I would always be honest about it. I'd be like, you know what? I'm not feeling this. But I feel like you have to be. Instead of ghosting someone, taking all the time, I'm just straight up. I'm like, this isn't gonna work out. Like, move it along. Like, so you don't have to keep calling me for a week. Like,
it's so respectful. Like, yeah. I have been on dates with guys. We had a great time, but then the next day they've been like, hey, I think you were awesome. I don't think this is gonna be it.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
And I've done the same thing. Yeah. And that's respectful. That's being an adult.
Yeah.
Ghosting is not cute. It's not cool.
Yeah.
But like, it's one thing, hey, I've gotten a lot of free meals out of people that I knew I wasn't going to be interested in. But as long as you communicate that, then that is acting with integrity. Yes. And that's how you can do it.
And I always had a 10-date strict no sex rule. So that also, like, once you introduce that, the guy's like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, then you're not for me anyways. If you don't respect me enough to wait until I'm ready to have sex with you, because you know what I mean? Like, I would like to be.
I love that. I always for sure wait 1 month.
Yeah.
There have been times where that didn't happen and it ended up being okay. There's always exceptions to the rule, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But I usually, for sure, it's a month. I'm like, let's wait a month. And guess what? A lot of times that's more than 10 dates. Because if you're into somebody, you're hanging out 2-3 times a week. So by the time a month goes by, that's 4 weeks. It's like, we've hung out. So it's all about feeling it out because guess what? Like, as women, we collect the energy that, is not only around us, but, inside of us. Yeah. So we need to be discerning with what.
And sexually speaking, for women, it's much more of an emotional thing, having sex. And so, like, for me personally, I'm not going to get off unless I am super emotionally connected to the human.
Yes.
So,
otherwise, it doesn't feel right.
It's just, like, why am I doing this?
Doesn't it feel like a betrayal to your body?
Yeah.
It's a betrayal to your body. If you
and you're not listening to yourself, you're not comfortable, you're not opening up, you're not ready for, if you're not ready for that, you're not ready for that.
Nope. Yeah. No. And then, I've had. That guy actually with the tattoos and stuff, he said he was really religious and he tried to like get with me super fast. And I was like, no. And he said, you know what, just because you have past baggage, I am not trying to have somebody disrupt my peace and happiness. And I said, excuse me, you are supposed to be a man of God. And you
talk about projecting.
I said, excuse me, when I'm ready, you will know.
Yeah.
And so that was like my first big red flag. But of course, we just kept it going. I saw it as a green light instead. But no, once again, like when the first red flags you see will end up being the problems later in a relationship.
Yeah.
But how crazy is that? No, like I'm trying to respect myself and you by saying, let's wait. And you're going to say crazy shit like that to me.
Yeah.
And so once again, I did make him wait, but it was just like in the back of my head. I'm like,
but it's also a fact. Like guys will judge you if you're too easy. They're like, oh, she's not wifey material because she gave it, you know what I mean?
So
it's a tender line that you play with. It's like, what do you want? a tender line.
It is a tender line.
Like, what do you want? You know what I mean? Like,
guys want what they want is to fuck you, but what they really want like, so physically they want to fuck you, but emotionally and spiritually they want somebody who knows, hey, like I'm more than that. Let's get to know each other on a deeper level. And that's what I projected. And that's what I got because I said, oh, no, you're not going to speak to me like that. But yeah, that should have been like kind of a red flag for me. But I love that.
I love all these quotes that I keep saying, like, First of all, Instagram has been awesome just because like
Yeah.
all of these like, you know, I post a lot of like inspirational quotes and stuff that I find.
I know.
Like I've been seeing a lot lately that are just like, you're not going to scare people off. Like your boundaries will not scare off the right people. You know what I mean? Standing for yourself will not scare off people that genuinely want to be
for you.
Yes, exactly. So you can't try to fit yourself in their box when, you know, you feel like you're literally betraying yourself.
My favorite is, and this has been so relevant lately because that guy and I, so it said, sometimes you can be the entire package and you end up at the wrong address and they will mishandle you because one,
there you go,
they don't know how to deal with you, and two, they weren't supposed to get you in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is like a really like supportive thing to tell yourself. It's like if it didn't work out, it's because it wasn't the right person.
Totally.
Okay, so the story about the guy that you met.
Yeah, so I thought that I stuck to my list. He checked all these boxes. He was a pediatric dentist, like a kid dentist. I'm like, okay,
you're
cute.
Like, oh my God, I love kids and their teeth.
Cute. Yeah, so anyways, turns out, like, so, we were getting to know each other. I never had sex with him, thank God. But
don't you love that?
I saved myself. I saved my vagina.
The parking guy, it was over a month and I never had sex with him, and I was like, thank God, because you're a dick.
See, because then I don't want to live my life with like a bunch of regrets of like, ew, why? Like I literally don't look at any of my like past like, oh my God, I'm so ashamed that I slept with that man. Like I don't have those feelings because I never put myself in that position.
If something feels off, it is. Wait till it feels right.
Yeah. But anyway, so he had tricked me basically. We were all cute. We were going on these dates. Like he was on paper perfect. Like he was a fitness model and a kid dentist. So I'm like, okay.
You're like, who are you?
Yeah.
Perfect man.
Anyway, so this is what happened. So actually, the girl that is always in my posts, my best friend, that was his roommate at the time. So we became friends. He didn't plan on this. He did not plan on this. So she was like, yo, like, as we're getting closer, she's like, I feel like I have to tell you. Like, he is definitely, he has another girlfriend. He's had her for like a couple years. And I'm like,
are you joking?
What? I'm like, what? Yeah. So I'm like, oh my God. Like, and it was just to the point where I was baffled. So after that, this is after my ex too. So I'm like, I thought I finally found a guy that like maybe I could see myself with.
Oh my God.
So I was just like, wow, like put it on my fucking tab. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus.
Wait, so what did you do?
I didn't call him out because because I wanted to be friends with her, and she was like, I don't want to be in trouble. It's my living situation. Like, so I ghosted him basically.
Oh my God.
It all came out eventually, and I had words.
That's the first like honestly commendable ghosting I've ever heard of.
I had words with him after. But literally, like, he moved and brought this girl with him. They're not together anymore. Like, thank God. But before they did, I was about to tell her. Because you're about to move to another state with this man.
Did he have anything to say about himself when you said something to him?
No, he actually just reached out literally, like, a month ago to apologize. And I'm like, I don't really give a shit.
Too little, too late.
But now that he's broken up with that girl, I'm like,
you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, I'm like, no thanks. Anyways, but yeah, so I was thinking about reaching out to this chick because... You know, they'd been together for what, like 3 years or something? And I was like, I would have loved to know that my ex was such a piece of shit before I moved all the way to Canada. You know what I mean? Like,
oh my
it had
God.
someone just like giving me a little bit of a heads up. Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't. And their relationship obviously ran its course. But yeah, that just shows you, like, it's like someone can trick you so... Like, people, okay, but again, to a good person, it's hard for me to picture changing my background on my phone, doing this, hiding text, like being a shade ball. That seems exhausting to me. Like, just be genuine to yourself. Like, how many lies do you have to keep up with? Like, you're going to slip up at some point. Like, it's inevitable.
So this is why I'm so happy to have this platform and that we're talking about things like this and we're being authentic, because I have a crazy story for you. So probably one of the biggest betrayals of my life. I was 22, so I'm 28 now, and I am much like older and wiser, but this was so devastating for me, and it literally parallels your story, but in almost a crazier way. So I worked at a restaurant, and this one night, and I get hit on like all the time, right? But so there was this whole table of these very
hot.
Baby, hot girl summer. But so there's like this table of these hot guys, and it wasn't my table, but it was one of my other girlfriends at work's table, and I go to the bathroom. And I'd seen the whole time the table was like looking at me, whatever, but I'm just like, okay, whatever. So I go to the bathroom, and one of the girls from the table, because there was girls there too, comes in the bathroom and follows me, and she goes, excuse me, like, I'm sorry to bother you. Are you single? And I actually had literally that day just broken up with this guy I was seeing, and I said, no, why? Because I was kind of like defensive. Yeah. She goes, well, you know, like, I don't mean to like bother you, but this guy at this table, his name is Raphael. Fuck him. I don't care if he listens. Raphael,
I've thrown a lot of shade at quite a few people that will probably hear this.
Guess what? You know what? If they wanted you to not talk about them, they should have behaved better. Yeah. You should have behaved better. So anyway, she was like, his name's Raphael, and he cannot stop talking about how gorgeous you are. And she goes, here's his phone number. And listen how shady this is. So this reminds me of the friend that
was she a girlfriend?
No, not a girl, like wasn't dating him, but a friend of his, like a friend that's a girlfriend. So anyway,
I've heard the opposite of that. Like when the girl's trying to trap their man, I'm like, oh my God.
No. So it was just a friend. Okay. But she goes, his name's Raphael, and he was gorgeous. Green eyes, a freaking Dominican, just like, but like.
I don't think I've met an ugly Raphael.
I know, right? Like light skin, but green eyes. And like, oh my God, just so beautiful, like so built. I love muscles. I'm just like so into that.
That was also on my list. One last thing. If my legs are bigger than yours, get the fuck out.
I don't do skinny guys. Like, I'm sorry, even if you have a handsome face, because I'm really about pretty guys too, you have to be built. Like, I need somebody who's going to throw my shit over and dive into the ocean.
I don't want to feel big around you. Like, no.
No, once again, nobody wants a bone but a dog, and I don't want to fucking like a homeless dog.
Hit legs a few times a week. Please hit legs a few times a week.
Please hit it. We don't want chicken legs, baby. Let's go. I want chicken wings, not chicken legs. So, so anyway, I waited and I like looked at him again, and he was so attractive. So I ended up hitting him up. 2 days later, he's like, oh my gosh, like I didn't believe my friend, but now I'm glad that I did. We started dating for like 6 months, and he was all about me. He was in the military. He was like a captain in the Navy, super high up. He was like 32. I was 22. So I was mesmerized. Like the first time we hung out, like he made this he had a cup for me that said Queen on it. Like he had like a fire pit with like, it was so amazing. It was like a fairy tale. And then we were dating for, 6 months, and I'd meet all his friends. I'd come over. His roommates all knew me. And there was all these pictures. So he's in the military. So he traveled a lot. And there's pictures all over the house of all these people. But I never saw one that was like anything incriminating, whatever. Buy me all these gifts. I'd spend the night 3-4 nights a week. One day, so he would wake up early in the morning, like 5 a.m. and go to work. But so one day he woke up, did like this like military football game, brought me a breakfast burrito, and then left again. And there was one room in the house that the door was always closed. And so he had one other roommate, whatever, but so the door was open when I woke up one morning. And so I, of course, walk into this room.
Please tell me he didn't have a girl chained up in there.
There was nobody chained up, but it was so fucking surreal to me. So I walk into this room, and all on the walls are these huge pictures of him and this woman who looked nothing like me.
What? Like a shrine in his home.
He had a fiance. Listen to this. So this woman who looked nothing like me, she is Persian. Like, and people often say I look Persian, but come on, I'm like blonde hair, whatever. She had like dark hair, like this really beautiful woman.
What is wrong with people?
Listen, no. Wait till you hear this. So I'm looking and I'm like, is this bitch dead? Because I've been here every day. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I see all these pictures, and I don't say anything to him right away. And then there's also wedding catalogs, like bride catalogs on this fucking, like, it was like a computer room.
Did he really
listen to this? Yeah. Did you really what?
Like, did he really think you weren't gonna go in there? Like, that was never gonna come out?
It took me a long time to go in there.
Were you waiting in that room when you got home? Like,
no. So listen, so I looked in this room, I see all these pictures, and then I finally, we were friends on Facebook, but he had like really strict like controls to what I guess I could see. And so
again, that's exhausting. Like I just realized that you can hide your story from people on it. I'm like,
so he had hid things from me. So finally that day I didn't say a word to him. So I look at all these pictures and I'm like, oh my God, this bitch must be dead. Is literally what I thought. So
like, this is a really sad shrine to a dead wife.
So I go and I start diving. This girl lives in Bahrain, which he had talked about. He was stationed in Bahrain for 2 years. So this girl lived in Bahrain. She was beautiful, whatever. They were engaged, and he had lived in San Diego for 2 years. And basically, so but while he went to Florida for Christmas one year, he sent me gifts, sent me necklaces, all these things like you're my queen, like blah blah blah. He was with her, and I didn't know it. But so anyway, so finally I ended up duplicitous. So anyway, I ended up getting a little drunk, honestly, because I was like, how the fuck, like, can I deal with this? Go to his house, and I finally said, what the fuck is this? And he was like, I didn't want to lose you.
Because that's a viable excuse.
I didn't want to lose you. And I said, why did your friend come up and tell me, like, oh my God, this guy? And he goes, we have an open relationship. I said, is she allowed to date people too? He goes, no. How crazy is that? So he supposedly...
He does not have an open relationship. This wife has no idea that you exist.
Well, guess what? They ended up breaking up. So, but it was tragic for me. Can you imagine at 22, this person is like doting on you every single day? You're like, yeah.
Girl, I can't even lie without like laughing. Like, I don't understand how anyone. Like,
I am so not a liar, and I'm so not a multiple. I'm not a multiple person. Okay, besides.
No, I'm a one-man type of woman. Like, I can only keep up with like you and your personalities.
I know. Exactly. So we talked about, I have gone on multiple dates in a day. I'm not gonna lie. I went on like I had this one guy who I actually wasn't sleeping with, but spent the night, and then that morning I went to lunch with another guy and went to dinner with a different guy who ended up being my boyfriend. So that's kind of happened, but like other than that, like but it wasn't serious, right? This person,
no. Yeah, I'm talking like first dates.
No, first dates. First dates,
always.
Exactly.
Yes.
But this guy was like dating me, like and he said, yeah, I didn't want to lose you. Like he goes,
no.
You know, balls in your court, and I said, the ball is out of bounds, bitch. Like, we're done.
Yeah.
But, like, it was... So, once again, I was really young and it was devastating. But men are trifling. We will fucking find out, bro.
Oh, yeah. So, the way I found my ex cheating on me, this is a good one. So, my Instagram fame ended up helping me out. I got DMs from this chick and emails. And she was like, just to let you know, like, I follow you and your husband. Saw him at a restaurant. He was, like, making out with this chick in a booth.
So, wasn't he...
She has blue hair. I'm like, I know a bitch that has blue hair. She was one of my friends. Anyway,
no.
Anyways.
Your friend?
Yeah. No. So, anyway, so we were basically at this house party the night before. We got in a screaming fight. Like, he would get so volatile with me. And I never understood. I'm like, why can't you just come home? Like, it's, you know, it's 2:00 in the morning. Like, I've hung out with all your friends for all night. But he, like, had a drug problem. He was an alcoholic. He was a narcissist. He was... People in Canada, I will say this. I've never met a more degenerate group of humans ever. Like, Canadians, they get after it. And I thought I could, like, party, but I can't hang. I can't. Like, literally, like... But they're all in trades, so they have 2 weeks on. They do, like, shift work. 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. That 2 weeks off is just rough, dude. It's like 2 weeks of degen-ass shit. And I'm like, this is my life. Like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But he wanted to be out until, like, 5 a.m. every night. And I'm like, why can't you just go home with your wife? Like, we just got married. Like, can you just... We've done the time... Like, just come home. And he jumped out of my Jeep, literally me driving it, jumps out of it. I had no idea where he went. So so I went home and I spent the whole night, like, by the way, we built an over $1 million house with my money. Beautiful home that I thought we were going to raise children in.
Listen, we need to find him because I'm...
Anyways, I have stories for days. He also faked getting shot in the head at Route 91 and stole over $34,000 on, like, on GoFundMe. He's cringe.
What the fuck?
He's cringe. Anywho, so that night I had no idea where he went. And so I was like, you know what? He probably went back to Garana's house. Her name's Garana, by the way.
That's Bat Guano.
He cheated on me with a blue-haired girl named Garana.
That is, I think, the name, like the technical name for batshit.
Isn't it? Anyway.
Batshit crazy.
Anyway, so I got crazy. I've never done anything like this, but in the morning something felt really off. And so, like, we were at their house the night before, but I took photos. And so I looked at the geo map because I was like, he's not home. I was like, I'm going to show up to the house. I called my best friend. I'm like, I'm going to show up to this motherfucking house.
I love to do drop-in. I'm a drop-in.
But I did not know. I didn't even know how to do this. She had to, like, walk me through it because I'm not a psycho like that. So I'm like, okay.
It's not psycho.
I show up at the house. His shoes are at the front door. I'm on the phone with her and I'm like, oh my God, he's upstairs. I walk in there in bed together.
What did you do?
He had his clothes on and so did she. So they lied to me and they said nothing happened.
Nope.
And I believed him.
No, you didn't.
For a little while. And then finally,
Caitlin.
I know. I was like broken. I don't know. But finally, I was just so miserable that I tried to break up with him very gently. Like, we were in bed together and I started crying. I was like, I'm not who I want to be. Like, this is just not me and I cannot be with you. Like, he looks at me, he jumps out of bed, he goes, I've been cheating on your ass the whole fucking time. And I was like, get out. Oh, I was so mad. He wouldn't even leave. And then the whole period where I was trying to leave Canada, he would be bringing girls into our home, my house that I built with my money, and like bringing them in and partying until like 3 a.m. doing cocaine everywhere, and like, oh my gosh, just to piss me off. It was the most toxic.
Did you ever physically assault him?
Never. I wanted to.
Because, girl, I'm surprised with your fucking strong ass because I would have fucking knocked the bitch. He literally took our
wedding photos and like did like Sharpie and like drew like thought bubbles on it. And I'm like, you are such a child.
Okay, wait, let me hear. You said that he had a family that was still together? His mom and dad or no?
Sure did.
What is wrong with him? That is not acceptable.
He's a narcissist. Honestly,
Babe, I'm so
it took me a long time to realize that that's like legit, like a problem, like an actual like mental issue.
I am so
like
sorry.
to where he doesn't even understand how fucked up he is because he just doesn't think that way.
Honey, that makes me so sad. Like, what did you do when he did that?
That's the tip of the iceberg, dude. I spent so much time crying and broken and so hurt.
Well, so, you know what? Let's end off with
my man, because he's amazing.
Your amazing relationship. Not brand new. They've been together for 3 years now. And guess what? We have dealt with some toxic shit. I know all of you have,
but it makes me appreciate where I'm at now.
I know 100%. All of you have too. So we would love to hear about some things that you've gone through in the comments. Any crazy shit that's happened, we'd love to talk about it. Please, because we know that there's been crazier shit. This is crazy. Like what we're talking about.
But imagine talking to more women. You know what I mean? It's like everyone has these like, wow.
We need to come out because once again, like I said, if people wanted you to talk better about them, they should have behaved better. And
more awareness for women, I think that like, or even just like, had I like listened to your podcast, heard these stories, I'd be like, oh, maybe my pediatric dentist is a little shady, or like maybe this guy that I just met might, you know, like let's do a little more digging, let's be a little more careful, let's.
Exactly. Well, let's just be a little more cautious with our hearts. Let's not invest into somebody until we know that they have fully invested.
But also,
into
don't
us.
walk around jaded.
Don't walk around jaded, because guess what? We have dealt with, I can't believe all that. That would break anybody, babe. And like the same thing, like I was broken for a moment in time, but we do not deserve that. We deserve to know that we are so worthy, which we fucking are. These dudes, they didn't want to give us up. That's why.
And I promise you, if you hold your ground and you hold your boundaries, like you'll find someone amazing. Like I found my man, and like he shows me everything that I've like always wanted and like waited for. You know what I mean?
I'm so happy. I love that.
I know. I could like cry.
No, like seriously, like we deserve the best. And so I would love to end this episode with, you said that you have a really funny story about how you guys met, and let's go from a transition from toxic to what
it could be. Yeah.
To ideal. So toxic to ideal. So let's hear it, baby. Well, how did you guys meet?
A funny little tidbit. My ex's name and my current guy's name are very similar, like literally 2 letters off, and they share the same birthday. So there's that.
Oh my God. Yikes! Wait, what's their zodiac?
There's a Braden and a Brad.
Okay.
And they are both what is it?
What's their birthday?
September 18th.
Virgos?
I guess.
I love Virgos. You fucking know it all.
Well, I guess I do too.
They're know-it-alls, but they are very intelligent. They are caring.
You're speaking only about my current one, not the other Virgo.
He has some other sinister things in his sign. Yes, but anyway, so you're new man. So how did you guys meet?
So I was on Bumble or whatever. I saw him. He's really cute. What I used to do on Bumble is basically like if I didn't want to wait for the match, if I just saw them and they listed their Instagram, I would go and like a photo, because obviously you're gonna see my profile and you're gonna DM me. So basically
you're gonna get in this.
Yeah, so he DM'd me, and he was just really cute and like charming. So I was like, okay, like very interested. This is right before Christmas. So I was about to fly home to the East Coast for like 2 weeks. So I was like, you know what? I really want to schedule him in before I leave. Like I really want to like make sure I meet him before I go. So we schedule a date. This is the night before I fly out. So he shows up in a leopard onesie. Dude, he shows up in a leopard onesie with sunglasses on. And I'm all dressed up, like a little bit nervous. And I was like, oh my God. I went upstairs, put on my leopard onesie. Yeah. And we went out to Sushi Coochie right below us.
Oh my God.
So we had like the best sushi date. Everything was like, oh my God. It was like an instant connection. So we had the best night ever. We went to one of my like girlfriend's like house parties. We were bouncing around PB. He ended up spending the night. He was super respectful. Like, we didn't do anything. Like, blah, blah.
That's so sweet. I love that.
So he drove me to the airport. And once I got home, I told everyone, this is literally like my words verbatim. I was like, I met the man that I'm going to marry. If I don't marry him, I would be shocked. My family was like, what? Like, you never say that about anyone? Like, you literally like, because I'd been single for a while. Like, I was like, after my ex, like, not whatever. But I was like, yep. I was like, yep, he's the one. And I was like, so sure. I just like really felt it. Anyway, so we were chatting. Our second date, he flew all the way to the East Coast to spend New Year's with me, and he met like 20 members of my family.
What a fucking sweetheart.
Yeah. So he flew all the way there, but he arrived with like food poisoning. He had been puking the whole way on the plane.
What did he eat?
I have no idea. So finally, when I picked him up from the airport, he had sunglasses on, a hoodie up. He wouldn't kiss me, and I was like, oh shit, I made a mistake. Like, this guy's like being so weird right now. This is the second time I've ever seen him. So I'm like, and I was like, because we talked so much, and I was like, oh my God, like this is gonna be great. And I was like, oh shit, like what have I done? So I bring him into the house. My dad is very military, like I said. Like he's intimidating. Like shake his hand, like your hand might go numb. Like, you know what I mean? Like look him in the eye and shake his fucking hand. he wouldn't even do that. So he went straight down to the shower. He didn't even say hi to anyone in my family. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know what to do.
You're like, what did I do? What did I do?
Yeah. So then he showered and then came up and explained it all. And so I was like, ugh. But like that like first half an hour, because he didn't want to shake anyone's hand after he'd been puking and like sick in the bathroom.
And
like,
maybe shitting his pants. So.
Well, definitely shitting his pants.
Definitely shitting his pants.
But yeah, so I felt so bad. Anyways, but he made a complete comeback, and my whole family absolutely adores him. And then we made it official that New Year's. And then literally we got home, and after a month, he moved in with me. Literally a week after that, we got our dog. We went 0 to 100 real quick, but yeah, we've been together ever since. We've been talking marriage, like he's it for, you know.
Oh my God, that is so amazing. I super love that for you. I am so excited for you. And actually, we discovered today we live a street away from each other.
We are neighbors.
We are neighbors. We live so close to each other. But that makes me so happy because honestly, I love that you talked about dating apps and stuff because that's how...
You have to try. You have to put yourself out there. And you have to kiss a lot of toads first. You know what I mean?
You have to kiss a lot of toads. You don't have to fuck them all, but you can kiss them.
You shouldn't fuck them all.
You definitely shouldn't fuck them all because they are not worthy of that.
Nope.
But honestly, that makes me so happy. And
it's out there.
It should give everybody hope. You know, like I was on Hinge for a little bit when I travel. I actually talk about that I've used Hinge and I have met some really great people across the world from doing that. But right now I've been really focused on this and just like growing my business, but I am ready for somebody who is going to be in line with...
Again, once you start attracting, like, you know, once you're the best you're going to attract the best them. And so that's my advice for sure. Like, work on yourself. Like, be absolutely everything you can be. Because, you know, I feel like when I met my shitty ex, I hadn't done the work, you know, to find an amazing man, you know, and I wasn't in an amazing place. And so that's what I found. And now that I am, guess what happened?
Exactly. You know? We could be with anybody, like, obviously, we could be with anybody. There's people that hit up our DMs all the time, but
it goes down in the DM.
It goes down, but it also goes down. Like, you guys are losers. Like, let's step it up. So anyway, like, make sure you know who you are and you're on your right path because you're going to attract the people that are on the same path as you if you know who you are and what you want. So, I am so excited that we had you on today. This was
so fun.
The most fun conversation.
This is the best Monday I've had in a while, guys.
Exactly. So, cheers to honestly knowing who you are and attracting only the best for your life and
holding your ground, being a strong woman.
Holding your ground, knowing what you deserve, and only accepting that. So, thank you so much for joining us today on Up to Date, and we can't wait to see you next week. Woo!